Hey guys, Andy Rafael from eTeknix.com, and today we got a review of the Razer Nommo Chroma 2.0 gaming speakers. Razer invested heavily in recent years when they bought up THX, cementing their focus on high-end audio hardware. The high-end model of the Nommo speakers is set to be THX certified and will be coming out later this year. For now, the Nommo Chroma are the mid-range model, and sadly they're not THX certified, but if these are good, then we can only expect the Nommo Pro to be even better. While the Pro is set to be a 2.1 model, the Nommo Chroma are 2.0 desktop speakers. We tested the Pro at CES 2018 and they were pretty amazing, so I'm eager to hear how these compare. It's also worth mentioning that there is a more affordable model, simply called the Nommo, which are pretty much the same as the Chroma, but they just don't come with that RGB lighting technology. The design of the Nommo is certainly something that stands out. They look unlike anything else on the market today. A durable plinth and stand are all pre-built, so this is literally how they come out of the box. The design looks great, but I must admit it reminds me of a handheld speed gun, or maybe one of those Dyson hairdryers. That's not criticism, but you can't deny the similarity. The design of the stands is functional though, and it allows the speakers to be better angled up towards the listener while sitting at a desk. I suspect this may impact the listening experience when you're not sitting in the sweet spot though, so please keep that in mind. Razer keep things looking professional thanks to minimalistic branding. There's a subtle Razer logo on the side of the speakers which I really like. Of course, I'm sure it will look more like a Razer product once we fire up that RGB hardware. Setting up the Nommo couldn't be much easier. The speakers need a mains power cable which is detachable, and they operate over a USB cable which is required for the RGB functionality, although they do offer a 3.5mm input on the rear as well. One speaker simply connects to the other, keeping things nice and simple. The sound is important, but you all came here for three things: R, G and B. The Chroma lighting is simply amazing, and we wouldn't expect anything less from Razer. It can deliver 16.8 million colours, and the colours are vivid and bright. The effects really dazzle, and while it looks great puking rainbows, you can easily turn them down, set a fixed colour, or just turn them off if required. But remember, if you don't want the Chroma, you can simply save some money and get the non-Chroma model. The only issue I do have is that they really struggled to set a pure white, as it tends to lean more on the blue side. Sadly, this isn't uncommon for RGB hardware, but it is something that could possibly be improved in the future. There are two knobs on the front of the right channel speaker, allowing you to control the bass level and the volume. They have a nice tactile feel to them and it feels like a quality product. The volume knob is also a button. Simply tap it to turn the speakers on or off. Now, one thing I do love is that when you turn the volume, it uses the Chroma lighting to indicate the volume level on the right speaker. When you do the same for the bass level, it uses the Chroma lighting on the left speaker to indicate the bass level. While I do like the design, having some form of angle adjustment would be slightly better. There's certainly a sweet spot to the audio with the angle they're at, and moving outside of it you do lose some of the dynamic range. However, for PC gaming and general use, it works just fine.
Perfect now.
The drivers are custom woven glass fibre and measure in at 3 inches each. They're pretty powerful and more than enough for anyone playing games, listening to music, watching movies, or anything else really. They're loud enough to entertain a few guests with some music on, but again, you may want to turn the speakers towards the whole room to get a slightly wider sound field. The exposed drivers look fantastic. However, if you have a nosy cat or a couple of meddling kids, you do run the risk of them being damaged. Although the base unit does have some suction and stays firmly planted on your desk, so the cat shouldn't knock it over, well, at least without a fight. It will stick better to smoother desks obviously, and even better to glass. We don't have a glass desk, but the window works pretty good too. Sound quality is pretty much what you would expect. They're not the most punchy speakers ever, but since this model doesn't have a dedicated subwoofer, there's only so much that they can do. That being said, they do have a bass port on the back of each speaker, and your audio will have plenty of bass for gaming, movies and music. There's a headphone pass-through feature, but unfortunately it is just that, a pass-through. It doesn't provide any preamplification, but it does allow for volume control from the speakers themselves. Plugging my headphones into the PC directly, well, they came out extremely loud, but very sound limited when connected through the Nommo. On the software side, the speakers support Razer Synapse 3. This is needed to control the RGB lighting and allows you to import and export lighting profiles, configure effects, and sync up the colours with any other Razer hardware you own. The EQ modes are handy too, offering up profiles for gaming, music, and movies. The stock EQ is quite flat, which is good, but there's no fully custom EQ option, which is a bit of a shame. One good thing is that on any profile, the speakers can be pushed hard and remain distortion free. Razer seem to have got a lot right with the Nommo Chroma, and I think they'll make a great addition to any gaming PC setup. I do think that they're a little expensive at $149.99 in the UK and $145 in the US, but you are paying a premium for the Chroma lighting features. Without the Chroma, they're only $99.99 in the UK and $99.99 in the US, which is a bargain, but who the heck wants Razer hardware without Chroma? That's half the fun and, well, only a third of the price. I would like to see the bass levels improve just a little bit, better headphone pass-through hardware, and maybe even an angle adjustable speaker mount. These aren't quite deal breakers, but for future models, I would be willing to pay more for these little improvements. Of course, with the Nommo Pro on the horizon, some of these issues will be fixed, but we're expecting them to be at a much higher price point. For mid-budget speaker setups though, the Nommo Chroma are stylish and sound absolutely great. For around the same money, you can get more powerful speakers from the likes of Creative, but I tell you now, they don't look half as sexy as the Nommo Chromas. Until next time guys, I'm Andy Rafael from eTeknix.com. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. See you later.